2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, get up. You know that.
This is an incredible, amazing performance. Can you just tell me a little bit how you started to construct this performance? Did you watch a lot of James Brown?
I would watch him daily. There was actually like 1 week where I was like, don't look at him anymore. Just focus on like what you know already, because you can get caught up in doing that as well. But I watched a lot of footage and read as much as I had time to read, and just dance. Just dive in with everything you can. Anything that's gonna give you some sort of inspiration. That's what you attach yourself to.
The dancing obviously is quite a tough gig to do, because you got those steps down amazingly well, particularly with the splits. I mean, how hard was that?
I think the splits that's not the hardest part.
Really?
I think the hard part is like either you can do it or you can't. The hard part is the grooves. The grooves at the microphone are, the choreographer, Akman Jones, he would focus on those things a lot more than, the flashy, the splits or the footwork, all those things kind of come from the basics. And so I think that was the harder part, is just trying to get a sense of how is James Brown riding the rhythm, and how is he conducting the band, and what parts of the body are moving at certain moments. And then once you get that, I think everything else fits together.
Right, I need that pop, day up, pop, but day up from the top, day up, pop, but day up from the top.
But this is also about James Brown the man as well, not just the man on stage. So I believe you met members of the family. Was that helpful for you?
To have like a real interaction with them, it gives you a sense of who he was. Going to his house, opening up his Bible, going in his bedroom, going in his kitchen, seeing what was he eating in the cabinets, all that different stuff, and having them talk to you about their own personal stories is much more enlightening and inspiring than reading a book.
So I want the movie to show, before you judge, we're not burying any of the facts, but I want people to come to a better understanding of his behavior, but also of why he was the man he was, who gave the world so much.
You took an interesting approach to this, because it's not in sequence. You jump back and forth in time. Why did you think that was the perfect way to construct this film?
We've seen biopics over the years and decades, and people, including myself, have a preconceived idea about what it's going to be. You kind of know the formula of a biopic. So we wanted to do something different, a little more artistic. We wanted to create a mosaic of his life that at the end of the movie, you sit back and you realize why you've processed this information. But also James Brown was frenetic and unpredictable. His concerts, he loved that people never knew what he was gonna do. He would start with one song, and halfway in the middle of the song would immediately stop and go into a ballad. And I wanted our movie to feel like that as well.
Great. Mick Jagger was involved in the film as a producer. What was his involvement with you? Did he tell you stories about James Brown? I mean, how did he get involved with this?
Well, what I want people to know is, you take Mick Jagger's name away, he was a producer. He rolled his sleeves up. He and Brian Grazer, we all worked hard, because it took a lot of work to get this on the screen. So he did the most mundane things, like have meetings about story and script and budget. And we just worked together. But the benefit was, and he will say this himself, is 50 years ago, he was walking on the stages with James Brown. So he had a firsthand experience and knowledge of the way things were. And that was very valuable for Chad to just hear from Mick. This is how rehearsal would go back in the day. This guy would be here, and this would be how it would feel. It was very comforting.
My baby playing at the Apollo.
I feel good.
I ain't your baby. Not then, not now.
I feel good.
First rule of playing any character is don't judge them. No matter who you're playing, you don't judge the character that you're playing. and you have to actually have compassion for them in order to play them, in order to find an entryway. So I think even before I started, I was already in that place where no matter what we find, you know, I have to be cool with it. I have to be able to accept it because this is me now. I think I just walked away with it with an understanding of his humanity. I walk away with a love for him.
Get up, get on up.